Good morning from the farmer's garden. I'm one of the farmers and I've just gotten out to the greenhouse to check on things. It's been a little bit since I did an update and showed everybody how things are looking in the garden. So I thought I would do that this evening, or this morning. It's getting full in here. It's getting really full. We're already talking about the next greenhouse. No real plans for when that's happening, but we're talking about it. So I just wanted to show y'all the starts that we've got and the things that we're doing out here and let you see how things are coming. Okay, we'll start with the not as fabulous part. So, if you've been around a while, you know that we have some drainage issues in our greenhouse. What we did to sort of fix that, what was happening is the rain would hit the roof and then fall down the side and then flow under. So this side, the ground slopes away, so there's no problem on that side. But this side, it would go down and then come under. And so we were getting this flooding situation where our rows were washing out, getting too wet. We've got algae situations and all sorts of stuff happening here that we need to get fixed now. But we do have gutters on the outside now, and so that's fixing part of that. It still comes in a little bit, but not nearly as bad as it was. But because that was happening, we lost quite a bit of the rows through here. So this one was supposed to be lettuce and spinach, and as you can see, there is very little growing in there. We've got some spinach on this end that's looking okay, but most of it's not looking great. This row also got pretty wet, but we had some radishes survive. So that's some of those big, pretty white icicle radishes. This row did better. This side got too wet and mostly washed out, but this side looks okay. So these are the Red Rover radishes. So we will have some radishes for market when it starts up in a little over a week. This row is carrots. We are not great at carrots yet. We usually plant them and then forget that we had them. And they're such small little delicate plants when they're little that we forget them and usually end up plowing them out. And then we go, oh no, there's carrots on the ground. We were actually growing carrots. But these are planted. These are several weeks old now. I can't remember exactly when we planted them, but then we also went in yesterday and replanted some more seeds in there to see if we get some more going. So that's happening in the rows of the greenhouse. We also have a lot of plant starts in here. So these are all tomatoes. These have been going for various lengths of time, all planted within about 5 days, but you can see some of them are looking great and some of them are still just sprouting. Lots and lots of tomatoes. We planted, or Brandon planted, 1,700 tomatoes. About half will go in the ground for us and about half will be moved to 6-packs and sold as starts for other farmers, other gardeners. Same thing with peppers. Peppers just got planted this week, so they're not starting to sprout yet, but they're here. So there's a jalapeno, there's a poblano. These are going to be some of the scorpions and some of those things. So peppers are started. And then of course all of our cole crops are looking fabulous. So some of the collards have already been moved to 6-packs. So these will be at the market for home gardeners to buy, or if you're doing a garden and you need them, you can also text us and we'll get them to you that way. Those look great. On the plans for today is to move some of these others, like these are some broccolis, cilantro, I think this is cabbage, can't find the label. Yep, this is cabbage. So these will be moving to 6-packs as well. And again, about half for us to put out in our garden and about half to sell. The leaf lettuce is looking great. Really excited to get some of this in the ground. Spinach is started. So the greenhouse is looking great. Oh, look, more tomatoes. They're everywhere. More tomatoes. So this is looking great in here. Let's check and see what it's looking like outside. All right, so these onions have been in the ground for a few weeks. They are standing up nice and tall and pretty. Got some weeds in them, but The onions themselves are looking good. These onions were just planted this week. Our small farm hands did this row by themselves. So the kids came out here and they got these in the ground. Then we've got spinach out here. This spinach was direct seeded back in the fall. I can't remember exactly when. This spinach was transplanted from starts the day after Thanksgiving. And all of this was killed in the Christmas freeze. But it didn't get the part just below the ground where the actual growth point is. And so it has come back and it's looking great. The spinach came back and the collard greens came back. Very little else did. There's a little, I think that's a cabbage that decided to come back, but very, very few things came back after the freeze. The collards look good and the spinach looks good, but that's about it. So it has actually been warm, almost hot even for February, but we are not ready to call it summer yet, call it spring yet. We're still watching the weather. Normally in the East Texas area, we are going to get at least one more cold spell right around Easter. And so Easter, I think it's the first weekend of April this year. And so we're probably going to wait until we can kind of see the weather for that week before we put too much of our spring and summer stuff outside. Some of those cold crops, the cauliflower and broccoli and those things will be moving outside very soon. But as far as the tomatoes, the squash, any of those things, we're probably going to wait until the first part of April to plant them. Just because we want to make sure that we don't freeze anything else this year. We already froze enough, right? But that's how the garden's looking. Chickens are laying amazing. The vegetables are starting to come. The collard greens and the spinach. We replanted radishes this week out here in the outside garden. There's a little bit of cabbage up. I don't know if you could see it in there. A little bit of cabbage that came back after the freeze. But that's how things are doing. We're working on a deer fence at the farm to get potatoes in the ground in the next couple of days, couple of weeks, I guess. Yeah, everything's looking great. We're excited for this year. That's your update on how the garden is doing. Hope you enjoyed your visit to the farm this morning. Thank you for stopping by. Y'all be sure and tell your friends about us. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and come back when you can stay longer.